Selena.
And together we make you plus happy. This week we're doing something a little bit different and challenging ourselves to define success and happiness on our own terms with a dose of laughter.
We ask that you just take 1 second and like, subscribe, share, and you can follow us on Instagram at YouPlusHappy. So we had a few listeners ask us about ourselves. When we say a few, it's a few. They were asking to know more about the host. So we listened to our listeners and we're delivering. So this week we're just going to, Iman and I are going to talk. We're good friends, so it should be fun. It should be good. So here we go.
Okay.
Hi, Iman.
Hey, Selena. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You ready to jump in and get a little personal this week?
Oh, yeah.
So what has embarrassed you the most? Or what's been your most embarrassing moment?
This
And
podcast. Just kidding.
Share.
I don't know. That's a good question because I feel like I've embarrassed myself so many times. Not one sticks out in my mind. One time I was at the club. I was in my early 20s, and I was drinking a little bit, and I was in like college age, and there were a group of guys dancing, and this song came on. I really like it was like a hip hop song from the 90s, and I thought that I could just join their circle, like. So yeah, I started dancing in their circle, and everybody stopped, like on a movie, like skirt. And they were like, I'm like, girl, you don't get out of our circle. I caught the vibe, and I just did the little Homer Simpson into the bush.
Okay. Well, at least you caught it, and you didn't just stay.
I mean, I stayed for at least like 5 to 10 seconds, which is kind of long. So yeah, that sticks out of my mind. That was a long time ago. So
Okay.
I just learned not to intrude. Try not to intrude on people's circles.
It's a good lesson learned for sure.
What about you?
So I don't watch sports. I don't really know basketball, football players. Like I know the big names, but not like if you're not a big name, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So I remember I was walking, this was years ago, and I was walking in the Beverly Center. And I thought I was looking cute that day. I had just got my hair done. I had a new outfit. So I was like walking, and I keep seeing like people look at me. And I was just like feeling myself. And like a couple guys like waved, and I was like, ooh, like, come to find out there was a basketball player, I don't know who was like walking behind me, and I thought everyone was just paying attention to me. And I went to Starbucks, and this guy was like, do you know who that is? And I was like, who? He's like, the guy that was walking behind you. I was like, no. So I don't even remember his name, but I was like, oh, like no one was really even interested in me. But it wasn't embarrassing because I was the only one that knew how I felt. But it was just like, Iman, you're doing too much. No one really cares about what's going on.
I'm sure one honk was for you.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I was like, oh, everyone's just so friendly and smiling and waving. Like, no, girl, not at all.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's the little ego, my ego down a little bit.
Been there regularly. Okay. So how do you like to be comforted when you're sad or upset?
That's a good one, because I feel like I don't get upset often or sad, actually.
Brag about it, why don't you? Jeez. I don't get sad or upset. I can't relate.
No, because I'm such and it's a good and a bad thing, but I feel like I'm so like my logic mind, so I'll talk myself out of certain emotions sometimes, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Where it's just like, Iman, like, and I'll convince myself that I don't feel a certain way.
Okay.
But when I am sad or upset, I like to just be listened to. Like, not necessarily someone giving me advice or telling me what to do, but just listen and hear me out. So I can get it like off my chest.
So you can like basically just kind of vent and just, you don't need me.
Yeah,
Okay.
just I'm not like a hugger. Like, you know, some people when they're sad, they're like, I want to hug. Like,
I feel like I sense that about you. I don't know if I've ever hugged you.
But the weird thing is I can be very affectionate in like opposite sex relationships, but I don't know. Not so much with like my girlfriends.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What about you when you're sad or upset?
So I do have emotions.
I do too. I just convince myself that they're not real.
I've gotten better though with like, I used to, when I was younger, like I would fall into it and be like, this is how I feel, this is it, and like not even try to like separate myself from it. So now I do that so I can get out of it quicker, but it still be happening. I just try to, well, I ask myself why, like, is this real? Are these real emotions? Like, and sometimes that's enough. Like, Selena, that's not even real. Like, girl, you're about to waste all this time worried about something that doesn't even, it's not a thing. But then if I can't talk myself out of it, there's a few tactics. One, a walk and take pictures of like the sky. And if you look at my Instagram page, you will see that that's very true. Or Beyonce, she helps.
Music is very helpful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
My girl is Lizzo. You know, I love my Lizzo.
Can't relate. And then poetry, a journal. And then I'll probably call someone and be like, I can't shake this. And usually by the time, and I need the conversation, like the back and forth. So I do want to vent for sure. But usually by the time I've reached out to someone, I've done all the venting in my head, I've written it. So now I need some external perception, like some outside lenses on this situation. And usually after I talk to somebody who's not as upset or they can kind of detach from it, they'll bring me down on it or make me see it in a different light. So yeah, I think the same thing, like feeling heard, but also somebody giving me advice or can relate. And I like hugs. I want somebody to hold me and rub me on my back and tell me it'll be okay. That's real. No, sound familiar?
A little bit.
So I have a lot of things I use.
It's interesting that the last thing you do is reach out, and I feel like that's the first thing I do, and then I might like read and journal and like deal with it on my own. But the first thing is like I just need to get this off my chest and talk, and then after that I might like reflect on someone. So
I have a lot of feelings and emotions. It's too much. Like if I went to somebody every time, they were like, Lena, you just called me 3 days ago about something else. Now I can't listen to all this. So that's not a realistic option for me because
see, I don't get there that often. So when I do, I'm like, all right, I gotta like let this out.
Yeah.
Who do you look up to the most, and what qualities do you like about that person? Me, it's okay.
Fine, it's you. I didn't want to say no. There's someone, I don't want to say who like their name. This is the first person that comes to mind. But what I like about this person is I've been around them and I know how hard they work and like how they say they have a dream, but they wake up every day and really go after it, like almost like an obsession, but in a healthy way, if that makes sense. And I just admire that work ethic and that I know some of the things that have happened to them that somebody else would have been like, all right, forget it. I put all this effort into this situation and then it didn't come to fruition. So screw it. Like, and the stuff that's happened to them, I probably would have been like, wow. I have like a lot of perseverance, but I don't know if I have as much as this person. And just watching the work ethic, and then just like not genuinely not caring what people think about them. Like, not just saying that person's never said that to me. Like, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. They never said that, but you can tell, like, they just walk to the beat of their own drum. Yeah, so I always think about that person. If I ever am not going hard as I need to, or that I think I should, I reflect on that person. I'm like, well, I know such and such ain't chilling right now. I know such and such is, or if I feel like I have a setback, I'm like, this person wouldn't let that stop them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. How about you?
I feel like I'm gonna do more of the I don't know, obvious thing, but I think like my dad would be the one person that I look up to the most.
I knew you were gonna say your dad. I knew it.
No, no. But like I feel like throughout my life there's been different people where I'm just like, oh, I really admire this aspect or this trait about them. But I think knowing kind of like his backstory and his childhood and knowing like, because I think that a lot of times sometimes people will go through things and use that as an excuse of why they are the way they are. So I really just admire the fact that he's like, okay, I went through this, but I'm not gonna let this situation define me.
Yeah.
So I try to live my life like that, like where there's things that I've gone through where a lot of people don't know and would never even guess, and I'm just like that happened, like I dealt with it, but it's not at the end of the day who I am. And we're very similar, I think, personality wise. So yeah, I just admire the fact that he's so resilient and is like doing things that a lot of people are like, oh, I could never see you doing this. He's like an author, he's working on a novel. So I'm like, I appreciate having that growing up and being able to see that.
Yeah, you're so like lucky too.
You know, and it's crazy because I didn't realize that until I was older. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh, this is just everyone's norm. But like as I got older and was like able to be around other people's families, I was like, oh, like I think I took advantage of it a little bit when I was younger. Because I didn't realize I was like, this isn't necessarily what everyone has in terms of just the family unit. So.
I think that's normal. Like I think everybody, for the most part, I hear like their reality as a child is like the only reality they know. So good or bad, it's like that's all I know. I can't relate like anything else. So yeah, I think that's super normal. When have you felt the most proud of yourself?
The most proud? I think honestly it's recent. Just being accepted to this program. Like it's been on my vision board, not necessarily to live in Australia, but to live abroad for at least a year. Mm-hmm. And I just hit my year mark last week. So it was just nice to see. And that was one of those things where I was like, okay, it's there, but I don't know if I completely believed that it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So being able to feel like I checked that off of my list. And granted, it wasn't the best time to come, given all the everything that's happened. But I was driving the other day, and I'm just like, I've been in Australia for a year. So reaching goals, I think, has been the biggest thing that's made me happy or proud lately. Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
I'm glad to hear that. I knew you wanted to move from LA for a long time. Mm-hmm. Not that it was bad. It was just like you wanted something different.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And I would say not settling, like just into any old job or any old relationship, like just going after what I know, like what I know what I want and going after it and doing it instead of just thinking about it so much. Like I thought about the podcast for like 7 years, 8 years. I thought about having a different career for like 10 years. And then now I'm finally shifting careers. So it's like now I'm doing all the things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, I'm proud of myself for going after something like stuff that I didn't know if I could do it or not. Quite frankly, still don't know. But
doing it, and that's the biggest thing.
I'm doing it.
What is something that you do when no one else is around?
Well, if I do it when no one else is around, it's private.
So we're gonna give of ourselves to our listeners.
Okay. I sing and dance a lot, but like full on performance, like I record it.
Oh, you record it?
Yeah, and I sing a lot of Disney songs, musical.
Some good Disney songs.
Okay. So Corner of the Sky is from a musical. And yeah, Corner of the Sky is one of my favorite songs. So I sing that a lot with all my heart and soul. And like and I dance probably almost every day.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I came to visit you and I was like, what's wrong with your voice? You were like, I've been trying to hit this, was it Mariah Carey?
It was Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande note for the last like 2 days. I was like, girl.
I forgot about that. And I played it for you. I was like, here come. And he was like, Selena, she didn't do that in 2 days. I remember that. Dang, so you know about it. Yeah, I'll be trying to hit notes. It's a whole thing. Like, I'm really a singer in my mind. But I've gotten better. When I first started some of them songs, I'm still not hitting that note. That's not gonna happen. But there's some some of the notes I couldn't hit, I can hit now. So if anybody's listening, keep practicing them notes. You'll hit them.
Mm-hmm. Practice makes perfect, 100%.
See, mamacita. What about you?
I'm embarrassed to say. I dance a lot.
You're just copying me at this point.
No, I do, but I do a certain type of dance a lot when no one's around. And I don't want to be judged for it.
So I already know. And there I saw this thing and it was like, don't be me, move your booty. And I don't know if it's real, but they were saying like when you move your butt, it makes you happy. It's something like the nerves. So
it does.
No, it really does.
I mean, okay, let's move on to the next question. Next question, please.
What's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you?
The luckiest?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I don't know. Because I don't know if I 100% believe in luck. Like, I feel like, okay, I won't go deep.
No, I want to know.
Well, I feel like everything, like there's things that I've put out in the universe that I'm like, oh, I hope this happens, or like it's in the back of my mind and then it will happen. But I don't necessarily consider it luck because I'm like, I feel like I've been putting that energy out for a while and it's finally coming back.
Well, like, this is something different, and this isn't the luckiest thing that happened to me, but I think it's more like, I get what you're saying, but I think it's more like, so I went to Rite Aid one day, like I was just picking up something I had to pick up, and my receipt came out, and I had $50 cash thing on it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was luck. I know some people don't believe in luck. I'm not trying to make anybody believe in it, but I didn't do anything like I was not well off, like I was well off, but like financially I was fine. And I hadn't been thinking about money. Like it wasn't, so I know I would believe like, oh, if I really needed money, maybe I did have a part in that mentally, but I was just whistling, minding my business. Work on that. And, trying to whistle. And I got that $50. Like I ain't do nothing. So I feel like that was like,
yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like that much happens to me. That's like, is that a bad sign?
no, but you also don't get sad or upset. So that's a real like.
I didn't say don't get sad or upset. It's just not that often.
That's. I wonder, is that normal for average person? Like they don't get upset that often? Comment below.
I don't know. I think it's personality and just I get up. Like I feel like a lot of things don't bother me. Where I'm just like, okay, like it's not a big deal. So I can let things go. Like I might get upset for a minute and then I'm like, all right, I'm over it. And then I just move on. I
get upset about what is that word called? Like not introspection, but like the future. Like I'll be like, my life, I don't know what's gonna happen.
But are you upset or like just like worried about it?
Worried. But sometimes upset, like I should have got a lot further in my life. I'm 60 years old and I haven't done this and that. Like so, and then I have to reel it in, like, and then be like, Selena, you did make, oh, this is important though. I'll say, not just like, oh, everything's okay, what can you do now? But I also say, oh, you did make mistakes that got you where you are. And some the choices, all the choices you made got you here. So you can't do nothing about the past choices. That's done, honey child. But what can you do? What can you do different moving forward so you don't repeat that? And that was something like when I would like 5 years ago say, I would just be kind of regretful of the past and then still do the same stuff. Which just makes no sense. So it's like you can't sweep stuff under the rug. Like it's the past, yeah, but learn from it, like legit.
Yeah, sure.
And ask yourself, wait, because I think a lot of times we're almost too easy on ourselves. Like we like these self-help books and all these positive quotes, they're fantastic, but don't let them let you off the hook so easily. Like there's like, and I feel like they're a little. Sometimes they can be what I'm learning now, I feel like sometimes those books can be a little irresponsible if the person doesn't have that, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like that know-how to be like, yeah, it's great to think positive, but like, what's a real thing I can do to like make my situation different?
Yeah, like the actions behind the thoughts.
Yeah. And like, and then holding yourself accountable, being responsible. I feel like that's so important and it's glossed over. It's just this, like, it's all about the future and what you can do, and you can do anything you put your mind to. Yeah, but also, what was your mind doing before you read this? Because like,
yeah, like the practical steps. So like and I've talked about him before, but one of my favorites that I listen to, I think I listen to him daily, to be honest, like in the morning, but Les Brown. And that's one thing I like is he always owns up to like his mistakes and things that he's done in the past. But he has this saying, it's really simple, but I don't know why it like resonates with me so much. He's like, don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. And when you think about, like for me, the biggest thing that could happen is I am no longer here on this earth. So he's like, if you had 2 days to live, like what would you be focusing on? And I think like in the back of my head, I'm always thinking about that. So when things do happen that stress me out, I'm just like, this is so small compared to like the bigger picture where it's like, I have my health, I have my family, I have my friends. The fact that, I don't know, like I'm behind on this bill, it's like, okay, it's not the end of the world. And I think that has helped me. And I've been listening to him, like it wasn't like that from the beginning, but I've been listening to him for years. And I think part of that perspective where I'm just like, okay, But then it gets me in trouble because sometimes people are like, oh, well, you don't care about anything. And it's like, I do. I'm not like, it's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I took so one of the things I had to do for a company I was working for, I had to take the strength finders test.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my strengths was positivity. However, everything, so they send you that long report and
Mm-hmm.
it's Gallup, and they tell you the con of your your not positive of your strengths, like,
Yeah.
and what you need to be, your blind spot could be. And on the positive thing, it said, or was it encouraging, something like that. But it said at the end, like, sometimes you won't let people just vent or talk, not me, but just saying like that's something that could happen. But I was like, this is me. And it was like, you won't let people just vent or talk, you'll just go straight to, well, the positive side of, oh, what can we do about this, or the solution part of it. And it's like, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't even let that person get out what they needed to get out. You just jump into, well, what can we do now? And like, I'm just using that language because I do that. Somebody will come to me mad about something, I'm like, yeah, but like, what can we do, instead of like letting them vent. um I'm not, I'm like, damn, I do need to pay attention to that. I forgot what you said to make me think that, oh, like, so sometimes I can seem really insensitive, but some things, and who am I to tell somebody what they should get mad about, when I just said I get upset about a lot of stuff. But it's like, some stuff I think we not we're not in control at that moment, and we're feeling like we are told to feel about something. Like, we don't even think, like, is this a real, like, is my response coming from me, or is it coming from like that part of me that like this is the normal response in the society I was raised in. And I really think that, like, I was looking at something and I forgot what culture it is, but like, they don't look at death as a sad thing. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
telling anybody not to be sad about death, I'm not saying that, but like, we were taught that you're supposed to be sad about it, and that culture is not. I wish I could remember which one. It's not this country.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's
And
like a
then, and then
celebration
when
of.
I saw that years ago, like probably 10 years ago, I was like, what? Some people are not sad about death. And then I was like, damn, I never even took a step back to ever look at, or am I conditioned to think these things, like my response to certain things. And once I grasped that concept, like, I choose how I respond to things, I got very callous, but not in a way that I was trying to be callous. Just like, when I think about this for real, it doesn't make me feel the way y'all told me it should make me feel.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like the bigger issue, like that's why I don't watch the news,
Yeah,
do
I don't watch
affect
it either.
me and like will stick with me. But then it's like the small upsets in the day to day where I'm just like, okay, like it's fine.
Yeah,
But like the bigger issues, which doesn't make sense because I'm like, I can't really do anything about them. But I think it's a big picture of like, this is the world we live in. And I've always been very big picture. So like the day to day, I'm like, all right, it'll be better tomorrow. Whereas, yeah.
that's so weird. Yeah, the big stuff doesn't. I'd be like,
Mm,
first of all,
yeah.
there's nothing I can do. So I'm not going to, that's my main thing. If it's something I could do something, if I feel like I could do something about it, even if it's something small, then I'll think about it, or it might consume me a little bit. But it's something way outside of my hands, I got other things to think about. And it's not to be mean, but it's just like, if you give yourself to everything, you're going to
Yeah.
exhaust yourself. You have to be, but it's important to like choose what's going to matter to you. Because if everything matters, you're going to always be frustrated about something or upset about something. You can't
Mm-hmm.
fix the world. You can't fix every problem. Like, you can't fix every problem in your own life. Like, it's never going to be perfect. So I think it's like, just decide what you're going to be sad about, girl. Because
And it's protecting your energy. I feel like that's something I've gotten really good at. Is where I will like force myself to unplug from everything, from TV. Well, I don't really watch, but like the phone, computer, electronics, and just I'm like, this is just for me. It's my time to write, to read, to like go on a walk, to do whatever. I feel like that makes such a big difference.
yeah. Yeah.
And there was this I can't remember what podcast that I was listening to, and it's gotten me in the habit. So like my phone is always on silent. Like I don't have the
Me
notifications.
too.
But they were talking about how like when you constantly are being notified when someone wants your attention, like they're controlling your day, your life or your day, as opposed to you being like, I'm gonna check my emails at this time. Like you're in more control. And it takes I forgot, it takes time. Like if you're focused on something and then you get interrupted, it takes time to get back into that routine. So I'm just like, no, I'm reclaiming I'll have my phone in a totally different room. And I'm just like, I'll check it when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And not to be mean, but I think like for me, I need that. Otherwise you're constantly on someone else's watch.
Yeah.
Where do you hope to be 5 years from now?
What is that? 2026?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Still doing the podcast and the other careers or projects I'm working on. I hope I want to still be doing those. That's it. Everything's just work related, but yeah, I hope to be on, there's another thing. I hope to like expand and like be on some more shows for sure. Some more podcasts. For sure. But my personal life is good. Like, I don't know, for the most part, it's good. It's cool. If it's still like this, it's cool. It's cool.
That's good.
What about yours? Or you?
I want to still be doing the podcast. Hopefully expanding. I'd like for it to be more of a You Plus Happy business / brand. So expanding beyond the podcast, 100%. I want to at least have one book, maybe 2, published by then.
The novels or poetry?
Neither. I don't think I'm ready to write like a full-on novel. Novels are long, girl. But I don't want to do poetry either. I think I'm drawn to, I mentioned this in the last episode, like a lot of thrillers / crime. So I feel like that when I'm writing short stories like that, I'm happy and it flows a lot easier. Whereas the book that I had started, that wasn't like that. I would put it down and not come back to it. So I've started to change kind of the direction. I'm like, ooh, I like this. So I think I'll do something along that line. I don't know if I'll still be in Australia.
I hope not.
I know, but 5 years goes by so fast. So over that.
So do you think the listeners had enough?
I think so.
They're never gonna ask for this again. Like, we don't want to get to know y'all no more.
They're like, okay, that's enough.
We know more than we need to.
Like, you guys just aren't that exciting. All right. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in and learning a little bit about me and Selena. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We couldn't do this without you. Again, remember to hit like, comment, and share this episode. Leave a review. We really appreciate your feedback. Remember, you can subscribe at You Plus Happy on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at You Plus Happy.
We'll see you next week, same time, same place. We'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours.